As I take and began this word from God, I'm watched from Pine Bluff to Conway, Conway to Pine Bluff. They say I'm crazy, but I want to take and start this sermon all before you, and I want to take and start preaching about the tail wagging the dog. Because if the dog was wagging the tail, he'd be more mindful than the tail wagging the dog. There was this man who went to Congress, and he is among the minority. We had two sets of standards which rule America, Democrat and Republican. It's a divided kingdom. But in the formality, the dog went to Congress to wag the tail went to Congress to wag the dog, as it was said, and it is true. Instead of listening to what the mindset of the dog saying to the tail, he wants to guide the mindset of the dog, the tail to. So therefore, nothing gets done because the tail want to control the dog. We're back to where we was in former days when the white man spent all of his years from Alexander the Great, the Roman Empire, even until the day of President Barack Obama, where President George W. Bush left. He sent a representative there now to represent him. Now, the reason I say this, we know nothing can happen except God put in plan. He can't bless that which don't love him. But he let the men and the women who was chosen by him to fall in such temptations because of their wickedness in the earth. Because the small thing they did, the law, it become the large thing that God be mindful of. Even when Hezekiah, he spoke to Hezekiah. Hezekiah never was concerned about himself because as long as it wasn't in his days of prophecy, he said that was good. This was a little fox waving the whole big dog, which is generations and generations of people, which was more and more greater than the prophecy of Hezekiah. He wasn't concerned about his own. Solomon, even speaking the greatest of the wisdom, he spoke great things, but he never set an example for himself of his or of his people. He lived a life of delusion. How come if everybody had the same amount of tears as Solomon? We would have ran out of room on the face of this earth a long time, and God would have had to bring judgment, regardless of the wisdom. They heard the great wisdom of Solomon, but he lived a life of delusion. These are the little foxes. When we don't consider the bigger part. Excuse me, I had to take the ice, okay? Who is our Lord God? Commandments of God. The law of democracy was put in place as the fox among wolves of lions. The law of democracy was put in place as the tail wagging dog. As we go down through the history of generation to generation, we'll find these things are the same. Excuse me. How's the next problem? Sometimes I sit and get in front of the child. So this is where we are today. Democracy, the nation have went and democratized the whole world, creating a myth where the tail is wagging the dog. Instead of Barack Obama bringing President George W. Bush to justice and make him part of the system where he judged others, he allowed his tail to wag the dog. In other words, the man that don't have less brain dictate what the man having brain said out of fear or because it was set up in a formality as business as usual. I mean, it's kind of stupid back here a little bit because this here is art. I reconstruct. Okay, excuse me about that. But now, let's go to this part. Let's go to this part. Before President George W. Bush, father was the head of the CIA, left the office, I sit and I listened at his speech. He lied and said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. I took and read in my first book before he left office. I said he can't say this because the word of God upon which I studied and I believed in so dear in this first book, he said Saddam Hussein didn't have no weapons of mass destruction. 2004. Not only did I say it in my first book, I said it in my second, third, and fourth book I read. I said, God said he did. If God said in them, God is greater than man, he don't have weapons of mass destruction. But yet, he formatted these lies, and he kept murdering and murdering them people, calling them Al-Qaeda and Taliban. And they were not Al-Qaeda and Taliban. That is the biggest lie that ever told. And it was one of the biggest lies that ever been told by a sitting president. But instead of the people investigating this man, he went to war. And then after he got into war, he took the very money that he led, that he needed to fight truth with, but used it to create a genocide against Abraham's children. By doing so, the United States became cursed by Genesis 12:1-5. For God swore by his right hand, his hand, that he would bless Abraham and make his name a blessing. He will bless him that bless him and curse him that curse him. Well, the United States at that point in time cursed the seed of Abraham. I wrote them telling them concerning this matter, but they didn't listen to me because who I was. They would call me crazy and try to kill me. God guided me thus far. And they killed Saddam Hussein. They hanged him just like they did when we was made slaves here in the United States of America. Even